In today's video, I'll be raising a really cool insect. It looks just like certain anime characters, which is why some people call it the Ultraman katydid. This bug is quite fierce by nature, yet it can coexist peacefully with humans. Look at this. It even falls asleep and spins webs right in its keeper's hand. Absolutely incredible. So what's it actually like to keep one as a pet? I picked out a juvenile katydid from an online store. Wow, it looks super adorable and cost less than $20. I bought it right away. 2 days later, my package arrived. I went out to get my little pet, feeling a bit nervous about how it was doing. Whoa, this is such a tiny insect. The little katydid seems to be doing great, really active and healthy. I tried feeding it, but since it's still adjusting to the new environment, it moved lightning fast and nearly escaped. I decided to let it crawl onto my hand. So cool and adorable. With that heroic look, it totally reminds me of anime characters. How about we just call it Ultraman? Now I'm setting up a simple shelter for Ultraman. It doesn't need much space for now. Actually, too much room would make it harder for it to find food. At this stage, I'm mainly feeding it some dead insects and fruit. Day 19. Ultraman has grown bigger now. To help the little guy develop faster, I've added a live feeder roach to its enclosure. Surprisingly, when faced with live prey for the first time, it's actually too hesitant to hunt. Alright, let's give Ultraman a mealworm instead. Young katydids tend to be timid. They usually get much aggressive as they mature. Okay, time to build Ultraman a new home. 5 months ago, I kept a house centipede and made a terrarium for it. But then something unexpected happened. During one feeding session, it managed to escape. So this enclosure has been sitting empty since then. Now, to give Ultraman more room to move, I'm going to repurpose this glass container. The extra space will help when it molts into its adult form. I just need to make a few adjustments. Over the next few weeks, I'll be filming all the key moments in Ultraman's development, from molting and hunting to how it eventually spins webs in my hand. Building this friendship with Ultraman is truly fascinating. Well, time to move Ultraman into its new home. Hope it settles in nicely. Day 64. After some time growing, Ultraman's looking stronger and more energetic than ever. He's moving so quickly now, you'd lose him in a blink if you're not careful. So far, I've mainly been feeding it mealworms, but to prevent nutritional deficiencies, I'm going to find some other food sources outdoors. This park is full of different insects that work great as pet food. I came across a large caterpillar on the ground, not sure what kind of moth or butterfly it'll become. Also found plenty of green grasshoppers, which are perfect feeders. I collected a few of those, but ended up releasing the caterpillar back into nature. Back home, I offered Ultraman a larger grasshopper. It went for it immediately, way more aggressive than during its younger stages. Look at this part, this is her ovipositor. So Ultraman is actually a female katydid. We can only tell the gender now that she's bigger. It's impossible to see when there's still tiny juveniles. Wow, Ultraman has strong, sharp mouthparts that can easily crush prey. Her hunting strikes are incredibly fast too. Then I set up a small water dish for her. This way, I don't need to miss the enclosure as often. Day 75. At 3 a.m., whoa, I noticed Ultraman reaching a critical moment in her life. She's beginning to mold into her adult form. I immediately grabbed my camera to film this fascinating process. This is actually quite risky. Any disturbance, lack of energy, or insufficient humidity could cause the molting to fail. The whole process took about an hour, but thankfully everything went smoothly. Now, let's take a closer look at her transformation. After all that effort, Ultraman has finally finished molting successfully. That was incredible! Day 78. This is Ultraman after metamorphosis, and he looks absolutely fantastic, flawless, and incredibly handsome. He's really calm in my hand. Once he gets used to the surroundings, he won't run around. Actually, I've tried many times to get Ultraman to settle down and spin a web on my hand, but I've never seen him do it. Why is that? What would happen if I just let him stay on my hand for a few hours? A few hours later. Ultraman still hasn't made a web on my hand. Maybe I need to switch things up. Let me give him a little food first. Let's see if this works. 20 minutes later. Oh my god, something amazing just happened. After I fed him by hand, Ultraman and I have bonded more deeply. He's actually started spinning a web on my hand. Let's see how he settles in. This is so interesting. The little guy is spinning silk from my hand, just like a spider. Actually, this silk structure is meant to protect them from other animals, which is different from how a spider web is used for trapping prey. This katydid usually comes out at night to hunt. By day, they retreat into this silky structure. It offers enough protection to deter invasions from small animals. Okay, the Ultraman figure has been sitting in my hand for hours now, and my hand is really tired. I have to put it down. Sorry, but I had to break the web it spun. I could really feel how taut and strong it was, but this isn't where you belong after all. My hand seems to be Ultraman's favorite spot. It keeps circling around right here. I'm really sorry. Day 100. Ultraman has really come into its own lately. It gets riled up so easily now, flaring its wings in a classic threat display. In the wild, that's just their instinct kicking in to scare off potential predators. Let's take a closer look at Ultraman through the lens. It really has such a striking appearance. This time I've brought some fruit to give its diet a boost. Not sure if it'll go for it, since it usually feeds on other insects. But it's worth a try to introduce something new. Whoa, Ultraman really seems to love the kiwi. It's eating so eagerly, not picky at all. That's great to see. Alright, it's been out too long. Time to get it back into the glass terrarium. Day 120. Ultraman's doing well in his terrarium. He's spinning his web. This is his home. Well, that's a wrap for today. Thanks for these amazing 100+ days with Ultraman. Stay tuned for more exciting content, and your likes and views mean the world to us. Thanks for your support.